being caught voting illegally here in Michigan,
Yeah, just heard
and
about it. Yeah.
and yet his vote still counts. How's this? How's this?
How is that possible?
Michigan.
But then again, I guess I guess after they put the ballot into the machine, I mean, it's in there, the system. But I mean, well, I mean, they should.
You just have to knock one
not
vote
vote
off.
off. But I mean,
What is it going to matter either way?
no, I guess not. But I mean, okay, I think that what I like to ask though, where would we be able to go to and vote in their elections in escape notice, or if you actually found out we're there illegally at all, much less trying to vote in one of their elections, we'd be probably put in prison or summarily executed in some countries.
He's getting charged with fraud. So I mean, if that's
he's getting charged for fraud, this guy was right.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
But yeah, maybe he voted for Trump. But
maybe,
yeah, because let's face it. I mean,
well, Harris needs every vote she can get, right?
Yeah, maybe she's like, "Come on, guys, I don't care if you're illegal, vote for me." I mean, that's a Democratic.
Well, they already said that. Tried that in Virginia.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then that got turned over.
And then, but not by the democratically, the schools that were put in there by Democrats. They voted for. They wanted non-citizens to vote. They voted against it.
Okay, so I always thought that maybe I've been naive all my life, but I always thought that the American voting that we're voting was only for American citizens.
Well, I mean, it's black and white on a piece of paper, and obviously they can't read.
Obviously, our politicians can't read. Obviously,
or they don't want to read. Or I mean, that's what happens when you have a bunch of lawyers or attorneys for your politicians.
Yeah, because they're more concerned.
They know how to lie. They've been lying they've been lying for their clients, or not stating the full facts because it would affect their case all their lives, and then they go into politics and try and do the same thing.
Yeah, but this is an easy fact. A, either you are American citizen, or B, you're not an American citizen.
Right.
If you are an American citizen, you can vote. If you're not, you cannot vote.
Right. I guess we're not being inclusive enough. I guess we're supposed to go to Mexico.
But what's crazy, the highest court in the land, it would seem like it'd be a unanimous decision, doesn't it?
It should be.
Why would three of them say, no, we want Virginia to keep them on the rolls? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, three of the Supreme Court justices. Yeah, I mean, probably Sotomayor.
Whoever the three
the new one that just put on that.
I can't remember. I can never remember her name.
But she didn't even know what the difference of the woman was. She couldn't.
I'm not a doctor or something. I'm not a medical expert or whatever. That was ridiculous. I mean,
so she was one of them that
probably
voted for saying that nonsense.
I don't have the names. I just what I wrote on the paper.
I would just say no. And if we're wrong, if I'm wrong, but my assumption that's probably the three more extremists on the the extremist leftist on there. And I think she's one of them. So,
but the Supreme Court is supposed to read the Constitution, understand the Constitution, look at these cases when they come up and say, this is a constitutional thing. So am I correct or not correct that I grew up understanding the Constitution when I was growing up in school? They said that only American citizens vote in elections.
Right.
Is that not true?
But everything that's not there is what we argue, like abortion.
Well, see,
it's not in the Constitution.
No, never has been.
No, it's never. As a matter of fact, it's probably based on. I would say it's a violation of for the pursuit of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. What's the first part of that? Life.
But we spend more time arguing about what's not there than what is there.
Yeah, that goes back to your point too, because that's what happens when you have lawyers. They create enough law to sound good, but they also give themselves possibility for loopholes.
Well, remember Bill Clinton. Depends what is.
Yeah, which was ridiculous. I mean, it's just just answer the question. Did Monica do you or what? No. Then then he left his mark in American history. It's on Monica's dress. Who the hell keeps that around now? That was disgusting. But
you have the last thing that Abraham Lincoln wore.
Yeah.
And you have Monica Lewinsky's dress. These are the things we have.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln's bloodstained clothing and stuff. And
then you got Monica Lewinsky's bloodstained dress. Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I wonder if it did make it to a museum somewhere.
It did.
It probably did. Unfortunately, it has to be.
Probably the X-rated version of the wax museums.
I don't know.
I wonder, so they got the cigars and everything. I mean, this is pretty bad. I mean,
It's probably the X-rated versions of the president.
you know, it's like, you know, when you're having kids, I've never had kids, but I can imagine back in that era, if you had little kids and they're hearing about this going on with Monica Lewinsky and Clinton as a Bill Clinton. I was like, you have to get your kids out of the room so you can listen to the news. That had to be a strange happening, you know?
But you did have something that Bill Clinton said recently that we thought was funny.
Oh yeah, it was. He's like, well, you know that it's not right to vote for Trump just because the economy was great underneath his watch.
And he was at an event.
He was at an event
speaking for Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. It's like,
well, didn't he say something too about if somebody probably vetted too or something?
Yes.
Like that? Yeah.
Well, what I heard from some people that I listened to that Joe Biden's not happy. I don't think Obama's happy, and I don't think Clinton's happy either.
No. With Kamala?
Yeah.
Well, who the hell would be?
Because of the things that they're doing is like sabotage. I mean, it's,
The truth is,
he's a lawyer. He's smart enough to say depends on what is.
yeah,
So it would seem to me that he could come up with something better than what he's been saying. Because this is like the second time he said something like this.
yeah, he's actually allowed the truth to come out a couple of times, but
they didn't call him Slick Willie for nothing, and he knew how to get around things faster. And he's good with words.
oh yeah, he's good.
So he's the only one in all that group that
I watched the J.D. Vance interview with
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
How was it?
Well, and one of the funny things he said is that I didn't know that Joe Biden kept the hat,
What happened?
the Trump hat.
Well, he kept
Did
When
he?
he went to the fire station.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took it with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and J.D. Vance says is that he thinks that Biden's going to vote for Trump, and so is Hunter.
Hunter probably should vote for Trump.
Yeah, didn't he like pardon him or was going to pardon him or something like that? Or
I don't know.
I think it's a better chance of Trump pardoning him than
Kamala?
Harris. Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
I guarantee you, she's a prosecutor. She prosecuted all these different
Well, they
things.
talked about that. Like I said before, they want to put everything behind them. They want to get it. They just want to deal with things in the future.
Right.
You know,
Unburden what had been or what was. something like that.
exactly
Yeah.
what Hillary. Exactly what Harris said.
And that's what Karl Marx actually said in some variation.
But he doesn't want to deal with old news. He thinks it would. I'm talking about about Trump, that it would hurt the country
Right.
by going into this.
One of the things is this is what happened, and we're talking about this. I think the reason why they're frustrated with her is because she's been asked multiple times, a very softball question about.
Well, she had 2 days to prepare for Brett Baer,
right, and she had 2 days to prepare for a Spanish one too.
and she had a week. I think a week for
debate.
Trump.
Yeah, and here's a question they always ask: was how do you help on the economy? And people are getting laid off in Michigan. She was asked this in Michigan. You know what she said? About the last, I grew up in a middle class family.
She actually responded like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Now,
is like,
one statement, like, you know what, I understand these people's feelings. We got to fix it. When it's stuff like that, it says, I grew up in a middle class family.
Because she
My
could
mom
easily
sucked.
say, I've learned a lot of things working with Joe Biden, and I guess I would have done some things differently, but he was the president, and I'm going to put those ideas into action if I'm elected.
maybe they should hire. She should hire you to be the person to give her the stuff to say in her earpiece. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, that was an absurd comment. I mean, to come back with that kind of response.
I mean, like saying, well, you know what? Guess what? Yeah, we've screwed up in the last 4 years. We got to fix this.
Right.
And this is how we're going to fix it.
She
We're
should have
gonna go
just
back to
done the
everything.
vote for Pedro thing. Vote for me and your dreams will come true. That's better than saying I grew up in a middle class neighborhood with a lush green lawn.
Reminds
Oh
me.
my God.
Remember the movie
And
The
my
Jerk?
mom saved up for everything, and she's lived
Do
on
you,
a.
do you ever see the house she grew up in? It's like a
It's a
2 or 3
mansion.
story mansion.
Yeah,
Brick mansion.
yeah,
Yeah, like that. That's middle class, and in Canada, not in the United States, in
You-
Canada.
I wish somebody would ask her. So okay,
They won't.
But here's the question I would love someone to just ask her: you're not middle class anymore. So can you explain to us what you're going to do for the middle class?
Yeah,
Since you're not there no more.
Never been middle class.
Do you remember the movie The Jerk with Steve Martin?
Yes.
I was born a poor black child. He was a white guy. That's exactly.
But he was a sharecropper.
Yeah, sharecropper's son. Yeah, that was no. They couldn't even make that movie nowadays. Oh my God, could you imagine that?
Oh, they could
No,
make a
the
lot of
funny-
movies they
but
had back
wait a
then.
The
minute.
funniest part when the guy's trying to take him out
Yeah.
and shooting the oil cans.
He doesn't
He,
like oil.
he hates cans. More cans.
Yeah, just I mean,
I love that. That's
but
one of my favorite movies.
maybe we could take the angle if they came out with that again. They say he identifies with this. Okay, he identifies with being black. So isn't that guys who are guys can identify being identified with being girls? They're supposed to be given credence. And the other day I was up to U of M. U of M Flint.
Mhm.
Haven't been up there 8 or 9 years. So I was walking through the campus, had to use the restroom. Sure enough, there were tampons on the wall in the men's room.
in the men's
Yeah,
Now, you mean in a you had to pay for them to get them.
No,
They
these
just
are-
weren't thrown up against the wall.
No, they were thrown up against the wall, but they're actually not. I didn't see it didn't look like a pay thing. It just looks like they had them available out in the open. Didn't look like there was any pay. It wasn't a vending.
So
box
they're
or
free?
anything. Yeah, they're free.
In the men's bathroom.
Yeah, I guess that's the point though. It's free though. If you're a guy and you're having a period, I guess you can get these for free at the U of M Flint campus. But I didn't see any box connected to like a quarter or dime or whatever the hell it was. But I thought that was absurd. I said, oh my God, I couldn't go to school here anymore. I mean, I couldn't go to college here anymore. I couldn't take that place serious. I'm serious.
I would go walk on there without laughing.
I mean, I was right. I was laughing and crying. And this is so pathetic. I mean, it's pathetic.
But did you see that they uncovered a scheme in Texas where 200 teachers got their positions by cheating?
But that doesn't surprise me though.
Number 16.
Yeah, it's that doesn't surprise me. And I bet you a teacher, probably was trying for some district, you're trying to get some slots filled.
Right.
Slots filled. Now, I mean, also the right check boxes checked, and they probably hired them.
Yeah.
That's what I can't.
That's where DEI comes in.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
That's
Probably.
CRT.
It's like because I've seen that happen back in the 70s, and nobody talked about it back then. There was people who were unqualified for jobs, teaching jobs in public schools, and they got for teaching French. They actually chose a black woman who was she was like just a couple college years and learning French over a woman whose family spoke French at home, and she went back and forth to Europe for years with her family.
Right.
They chose this black woman because to fill a spot in affirmative action spot, but she had the intelligence enough to actually ask the woman who she was who she got the job over. She said, "Could you tutor me in this?" And the woman charged her $20 an hour for being her tutor. So for French.
How did it become public knowledge?
That was it was in the press briefly. It was actually my mom's friend who actually was the daughter. And she was a woman who was actually from Luxembourg, and the family was from
Right.
Luxembourg. The mother was a war bride, came over during the Second World War. In the 70s, her daughter was teaching certification, and she knew French, she knew English, she knew Italian, because her family, people from Luxembourg, speaks 3 or 4 different languages, and she was back and forth between the United States and those in the European countries. And the city is, I think it was here in Flint. It was a school system here in Flint that passed her over to hire this woman so they can get affirmative action.
They probably got money.
Definitely.
No, the school system, I don't blame them for wanting to get the money, do you?
No, but like I said, I think there was intelligence.
That's what government does. They force you to do stupid things to get money.
Yeah.
Do you think these guys are scared that Trump gets in? A lot of this crap's going to go to the wayside.
No, I don't think.
Because
It's not going to, like I said, like we spoke before, nothing's going to happen until next year.
Right, I know,
at the
but
earliest.
that's fine.
And they've got plenty of time for Joe Biden to pencil whip a whole bunch of regulations before he leaves.
He can pistol whip. He can
Pencil whip.
I know. I just said. I said pistol. Yeah, I said pistol whip. I misspoke. You didn't. But anyways, he can do that all day long, and then Trump can come in with an eraser and erase all those stupid.
No, because remember, they wouldn't let him undo the health care, Obamacare. That was done by signature.
I thought that was actually
A lot of it was done by signature.
That's
It
true.
went to the Supreme Court, remember?
Yep.
Oh, some of that was all right. Well,
And remember what Supreme Court justice was the one that not only voted for it, but
wasn't it?
you know all their names.
Tom? No, it wasn't Thomas. It was that one guy. I can see his face. I can't.
Never mind. I thought John knew.
No,
That's
I'm
one
drawing a
reason I
blank.
said
I
it.
can see
John
his
Blank.
face. I can't see his name. I just can see his face.
John Roberts.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I kept thinking Roberts, but I thought that was the guy that went in last. It was Kavanaugh that went in last.
Yeah.
So
But he was put in by Bush.
Yeah.
there you go. Get the rhino involved.
Yeah. The rhino chooses a rhino.
How about this Ohio bakery? This one I like. This Ohio bakery, known for predicting elections.
Yeah.
Shows Trump up with 68% of the vote. I've heard this one over years, and that like it's actually it's kind of cool thing. He's winning 68% over Harris on bites. And what do you think? Is it a sign that Trump's going to win big, or do you what?
It's because Trump's proven himself that he's a regular guy. I mean, yeah, he's a billionaire, but he's relatable. He says stupid things.
Yeah.
We say stupid things.
Yeah. I mean,
We all say stupid things.
And I'm sure he's got a smart wife that
Correct him.
corrects him and probably tells him about the stupid things he did.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to be on that conversation. Just
Yeah, you never know how wrong you are until after you get married, or even dating somebody that can point out your errors. Like, you screwed up here, you screwed up
But
there.
I mean,
It's
John's
damn.
brought up about they're saying that he's got a low IQ because of the words that he uses.
Yeah, I think that goes back to his sales background. I mean, sales, you don't try to pull out a dictionary and then memorize words on it. You try to use things that resonate with people you're dealing with, and I think that's the reason why.
you get relatable.
Yeah, you get relatable. You have to connect.
And you have to paint good pictures of, hey, this is going to be the best thing for you. You have to use these big pictures in sales. You always do. You're always saying, hey, this is the best product. This is everything, because you have to believe it is the best thing. If you
But do you
can't,
think
nobody
do you
will
think
do
he
it.
enjoys it? Like they're saying 98% of the jokes on late night are directed towards Trump, political jokes. Do you think Trump enjoys the bad with the good?
I think he's got thick skin. I don't think he enjoys it. I think but it actually shows relevancy. If they're aiming at you, they know. Well, no pun intended, Mr. Trump, after getting shot at, But no, I think it basically shows you're still relevant. I mean, I guess that's the only way you can take as a positive, because nobody likes. There's no such thing as creative
I
criticism.
mean, look at all the criticism we get for being bald,
Yeah, that's
ugly,
I'll say.
Old.
boomers.
Yeah, and another thing is too. I can't stand this generation going, "Oh, boomers." Okay, at least we
But
actually
I'm not.
outside.
I don't consider myself because I think 1964 was the cutoff for.
Right.
I'm not in that generation. I have nothing. That's my mom's.
Yeah, that's what part of it. But the thing is, I have a brother that's 10 years older than me, so there's like a difference almost by another generation, because I think 20 years is a generation.
Right.
And so he's almost like a half a generation away from me, but there's no major difference in how they view things. I mean, maybe a little bit more for against the Vietnam War, because they're going to about to go,
right.
ready to go. But no, I just think I think it's an absurdity to divide nations like that. I mean, there's going to be.
But you think about it, all these innovations happened during our lifetime.
Yeah,
We've seen them. We've seen them come in. We've seen the computer come in.
Right.
We've seen the cell phone come in.
We saw the market.
And how can I don't consider myself a boomer.
No, I don't, because my mom was definitely she's a before the boomers actually. She was in the 30s. She was born in the 30s, but yeah, she just saw a computer. She was fascinated by it, but she could never. Back then, you basically had to do programming to use a computer, because you just didn't they didn't have programs on there. And she didn't understand that concept. And she bought one. She had some money given to her son.
But like I said, just think about all the innovation that we've seen in our lifetime.
Well, look what we're doing now. I mean, what we're doing now, we used to require a major news network being part of a affiliation, and they had like cameras and maybe $500,000 $1 million in a studio to build a studio.
Now you use cameras and even mics that work.
Right.
Well, we put a little bit more effort.
Yeah,
No, you do a lot more, but I mean, there are a lot of guys out there that do, like, even just on their video camera.
Right. It's just like on their phones.
Because people don't care about all the flashing stuff. Most people don't listen. I mean, they listen, they don't watch anyways.
A lot of people just want to hear it. They just want to hear what's going on.
That's it. We used to do the intros and stuff like that. Some of the shows we still do,
Intros,
outros
with music and all kinds. It's just not what happens. Is that the attention span isn't long enough to make it through the song or the intro. So what we tell our people now is just go straight into what you want to talk about.
About 90 seconds, isn't that what you find out when you do our reels?
Yeah.
90 seconds.
You gotta connect to somebody real quick. Otherwise, they got millions of things to watch on the internet available.
They're just going to click off.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, it's. I've told people that, and I said, they say, well, I saw that I got 100 some views on that. Is that good? I went, okay, and let me put this perspective. Years ago, there were 3 networks. They spent millions of dollars to build momentum on.
Right.
I sent them, ads and stuff like that. I said, you're capturing that number of people with millions and millions and millions of options each and every day. If you're capturing that, you're doing okay.
Okay.
I mean, of course, it's not everything's viral. We've had a couple of near viral and viral, videos, but
we do pretty good.
we
on
do
our
pretty
channel.
good. But it's, like I said, you got to put in perspective. I mean,
But it's stupid things that you don't even think are going to go. Like one of our biggest videos on TikTok is the
Tim Waltz thing.
Tim Waltz
Yeah.
issue about being fired from the school.
Right.
I mean, it's still every day, and that's what we're getting hits for.
so I mean, you never know what's going to resonate with click. I mean, years. Yeah.
Now the thing is about him was a Chinese girlfriend.
Right. We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's got Chinese. I mean, Chinese are trying to vote in the elections, and
Like I said before, I just don't know that they obviously didn't vet the guy at all, or if they did, they didn't care.
No.
Because it's obviously a lot of people must have known because they were going places together. So I don't know.
It's kind of like I think there was like, okay, this was like you keep saying it was like the team to bound to lose.
Yeah.
It was the team to bound to lose. It was just like they didn't have a thought to win, and I still don't think they have a thought to win. There's no way in the world, I mean, look at the thing about Trump, coming back with the garbage truck, after they told him online, he was at a rally. Mark Rubio comes up and says, "Hey, this is what Joe Biden says," and that was no planned thing, because she just came off a thing and she was in a plane. And somebody asked, "Hey, did you just hear about Joe Biden saying, all the guys that are the supporters of Trump are garbage?"
Yeah.
You gotta tell me that was planned. I think he's doing everything he could do to sabotage.
Oh, that's
her.
what JD Vance said that he thinks. Like again,
Right.
that he thinks that it's planned. But did any of you see it? Any of you? Did either of you see the Halloween thing with at the White House today with Joe Biden?
What, the
Where she came out in
Joe
a panda
Biden.
suit.
Yeah, but that's like an old
Yeah, no,
person
it's
thing.
not-
I just
I didn't think
think
it-
she
but
thought it was cute.
Yeah.
And people are trying to make a big deal of her
No.
dressed as a panda.
Wasn't he like biting kids or something?
Yeah, he's biting kids.
I'm vampires and I'm biting your
Joe
leg.
Biden biting kids.
Yeah, that's
It's-
a joke.
I just, I mean,
Does it? But I mean, does it matter anymore? Really?
Well, it
What
doesn't
are you going to
matter.
do? I mean, what are you going to do? That's the perception that the world has of us right now. And that was one of the biggest things. The world's going to think we're a joke with Donald Trump as president. But what do you think with Joe Biden as president?
We've been
Yeah.
we've been the biggest joke in the last
But
4
what
years.
I'm saying is that was one of their biggest things is that nobody's going to take Trump seriously.
they took him more seriously than they are going to.
I mean, you think they're going to take like a 5'2" female
Cackles.
with the cackles seriously?
That's another thing is too. We got to see we're from this perspective. We can't have sexism in this country. We rule out that, but you can't discount the fact that other countries we deal with are very what we call sexist. And they're not going to take a female seriously.
No.
Most culture. I mean, yeah, especially the Arabs.
Yeah, I think.
No,
I don't think so.
I
You
think
think
there
there
are
are-
some that they would.
some, but I don't think.
I mean,
in the
there's
Middle
already
East
been
they're
some in the past. Come on,
What's it like? Well, who?
Who?
Prime Minister for
Prime Minister.
for England.
Okay, but
But
again,
not from you think the Saudi Arabia.
I'm saying that there's been women in power before that have been.
Oh, yeah.
Queen
Margaret.
Elizabeth.
not that one.
Queen Elizabeth.
No,
yeah.
not her.
Right.
But you can't write off women because of her.
Margaret Thatcher.
I mean, you just said that nobody's
Well,
going to take a woman seriously.
I know, I was
Margaret
saying-
Thatcher.
I didn't say nobody. I said there are other culture. There are other people we deal with that have a tendency not to do that, to take it seriously. I don't.
You don't
she
think they took Thatcher seriously when she said that
We're
they
talking
think
about
that
different-
bombs will drop?
We're talking about different people though, in different cultures. Different cultures she dealt with were the ones we're currently dealing with in the Middle
Well,
East.
she dealt with a lot of those more of those cultures than we did because there were realms of
Well,
England,
from
like
the-
Pakistan and
India.
India.
You got to point
So-
there. I just that
It
cackling
just
woman,
depends
I
who
can't
the
take
woman
seriously.
is. I'm saying Kamala Harris. I'm not writing off all women because of Kamala
You got a point
Harris.
there, but I just can't see that woman being taken seriously.
It's the woman.
It's the person.
Right. So
And
when Mark Cuban comes out and says there's not a strong woman who's around Trump, strong, smart woman, when he says that to The View,
You're right.
but then you're looking at Kamala Harris and you're thinking this is a strong independent woman, are you freaking crazy? You know.
Well, another thing is I've argued this when you made a point that I have argued when I was in college. People were saying, well, if women ruled the world, there would be less war and there would be less, this violence. And I went, you're ruling out Queen Elizabeth, the first, the one who was in power long time ago. Under her, the British Empire expanded, exponentially and had more colonies and everything else all over the world. And then Queen Victoria, definitely, she oversaw the a great realm where he had all these colonies and stuff like that under her power, under control. So I mean, they tried to sugarcoat women too as being leaders and not being less vindictive, but they
were vindictive. They killed their own relations.
Yeah, they killed off their own family members
just so they couldn't take their position of power.
Right. You piss off a woman, you think that's going to be, you piss off a guy, you might get a fight and then you're going to go for a beer afterwards. You piss off a woman, they're going to remember that for a long time and then kill you. That's the hard thing.
Yeah. It's like you're the one that's got to go home. We don't.
Yeah. No, I just
what about the Ohio billboard with Kamala Harris?
It was removed. That's what you're telling me because it was offensive.
It was pretty bad. Her tongue was out and she was on her knees. And it said Kamala Harris, or can't get a hold of Kamala Harris because she's at a baby shower. I don't know what that means.
Oh my God! But
I don't know what that means.
I think I have
it was in Ohio and they took it down and they apologized for it. So I guess it's okay. I now that I said it, I understand.
It's one of those things that, oh crap, I didn't mean that.
I mean that's what it said.
Okay, well, they paid for it.
It's First Amendment.
Amendment. I mean, the company took it down and apologized.
Okay, but they've had pictures of Trump up and said unfit. They've had pictures of Trump saying multiple different things. They've put different things up. Okay, so you got 98% of people taking cheap shots at Trump. I don't see why they can't have a billboard up.
Yeah, but there has to be a line somewhere, and I think
you can't have a
line. In my opinion, the line was crossed.
You can't have your kids driving by. You don't want your kids to sit there watching.
But she said enough that you could use her own words against her. You don't have to go into something's disgusting and, pornographic in nature.
You didn't have to call her.
See, part of me is like a teenager. Is like, I'm going to go for the jugular, and somebody get a chance like that, and she deserves that. But I mean, I don't think I think it's classless to do that, but it's funny. But it's still funny. It is a class.
It makes you laugh a little bit, but then
it's a disgusting thing. It's a disgusting thing
But somebody had to pay for it, and the company that puts up the billboard had to make it, and they put it up.
Right.
So they knew exactly what they were doing when they put it up.
Yeah, we got caught. Hey, but guess what? We got to keep the money anyway. I guess there's no such thing as bad publicity.
I'm curious who brought it down. I'm curious who was the ones that.
Well, I'm sure people didn't want to see that and explain what it meant to their kids on the side of the highway or the expressway.
No, I know.
I kind of wish somebody got a snapshot of them and posted.
Would you? Would you want your kids to see something like that?
And explain it to them?
No.
Like I said, I mean, just earlier about,
But like I said, I think a line has to be drawn, and I don't think that she said enough stupid things that they could have put on that billboard that they didn't have to go there.
Just stick with what she says publicly.
I'm middle class. I was raised in middle class.
Every time I hear that thing going back to the jerk. I do. I was born. I mean, how is that relevant to Kamala?
I don't know.
That's another thing is a lot of conservatives, every time they deliberately or they screw up on her name. I don't think Kamala's that hard. I hear them say Carmela, and that was Tony Soprano's wife, Carmela. I mean, it's Kamala. Okay, I don't know why that's considered so hard to say. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but I don't think it's that hard.
What do you think of number 2, John?
Okay, let's see number 2.
About the IRS whistleblower that exposed the Biden family with questionable dealings has been told to accept the demotion or leave.
Oh yeah, that's definitely.
Is that retaliation?
That's definitely retaliation. I mean, these people got to when you work for the IRS, any of all these federal agencies, you're a henchman. You're a thug. That's all. There's nothing noble about what you're doing, especially the IRS. I mean, nothing noble about you people. I mean,
this guy was a whistleblower. He was coming out there. Here's the thing: is he's coming out there
against the Biden family.
And then he's getting told, "Wait a second, because you went against the Biden family, you're either going to have to take a demotion or you're going to get fired."
I know that, but see, the thing is, it's too bad it happens, but I don't see how they can expect a different outcome.
But you can't do anything. The IRS is there,
right?
And they need employees. And if somebody's got, if I have the qualifications for a good job at the IRS, I don't care what you think. I'm going to take it.
So no matter, see, that's the thing is that's what I
And
just,
I think you would too.
no, I wouldn't take the job for the IRS. Hell no.
If-
Hell no.
You
I'd
ever
rather,
take a
I'd
job in
rather
the
dig,
IRS, they
I'd
take
rather
off
dig
to you?
ditches or do something to live on the streets and do work for these people. Hell no. Hell
Really?
no. No, I hate the federal government that much.
I know where a ditch needs to be dug.
Well, but I'd rather, hey, if I got paid for it, I'll do it. I mean, these SOBs, there's nothing
pay you.
noble about, there's nothing noble or good about the IRS.
But anyway,
FBI or any of
but
these
still,
people.
they're
There's nothing good about
they're
them.
people, and they did something according to the whistle. I think I don't know if it's an act, but I think it's an act
Yeah.
that they're supposed to be covered by the whistleblower.
Again, it's
No, I mean Congress should be investigating it and find out
Why
if it's true.
well. See, the thing is, we
And-
got to create a situation where we can pass
but
laws.
you got to remember, this person stood up and said this is wrong and reported it, and now they're getting retaliated against. So
By
you're
the
saying you don't want people to
they're-
stand up and say that things are wrong just
Well,
because they
we-
work for the IRS?
Okay, Steve, let's be honest. Having these people do this, they should know. Okay,
But the job is there, the position's there. The IRS is an agency in the United States, whether you like it or not.
You may not like the federal
And
government.
you may
He's
not
doing-
like it, but the
he's doing his job.
people can do the job if they want to, just because you don't want to do it.
so it's like, okay, but what I'm saying is, this never should be expected to be effective, this whistleblower stuff, when you're dependent on have to go back to the very people who depend on that body, the IRS, to get their money from the taxpayers in the United States. You got to find a way of circumventing.
Well, you got to
have
remember,
oversight from
the
the
tax system is
Congress and
voluntary, John.
senators. Oh, taxation is voluntary. Okay, try to not pay taxes.
I haven't paid taxes in 3 years.
Okay, let's move along. I wouldn't.
No, I haven't.
He doesn't have to.
Oh yeah, because you're a veteran. Or
No, because I'm not.
I wouldn't do it. Sorry, I wouldn't want the heat. They have the clout to do what they want to do to you. The only thing I have is being not like these people, but they do have the legal ability to screw with your life and make your life.
If you let
miserable.
them,
Okay, but what I'm talking about this is that this guy's a whistleblower. No, the guy, the whistleblower that said came against Trump was heralded as a hero
Right.
and promoted and everything else like that. Got to write books on all this guy. This guy came against Biden, and now he's being told we're going to give you demotion or you got to get fired.
Oh, see, okay. If the IRS,
okay, say
take
you
the-
didn't work in the IRS,
take
and
IRS
this
out of it.
happened.
Just say
Take
they
that
did that.
out. Would you say it's wrong?
oh, it's wrong to fire people when they're supposed to be reporting bad activity on behalf of the agency they're working for. Yes, I agree. That's in theory, that's good. But in the reality of it, we know that there's no way that actually is going to be held to the same standards for both parties. And we know that.
Well, that's not what we're saying. The person's suffering for doing the right thing.
I mean, you're going to have to take a demotion
What's-
because you did the right thing.
You signed on for it. He signed on for it. He knows that the way that, like, I mean, it's an admirable quality maybe, but you're
Okay, but
charging
do you
that
think the
window.
next person is going to do it? Who doesn't work? Just because this person works for the IRS, you say they deserve what they get.
They signed on for the job. They know what the outcome is going to be more likely when they do that.
So
I don't
what
understand.
we're saying. So I'm trying to understand it. I'm just trying to understand.
Are you against this person because they
I'm
work in the
not against
IRS?
them. I'm not against them. I just know that he's charging at windmill. He or she's charging at windmills.
Well, we're
It's
saying-
a quick side.
No, but you got
It's
to
a quick
remember,
side.
some scummy fucking or friggin' politician got him in that position. They went and gave him the information and probably said, yeah, we'll cover you. Come on in. How many people do you think lied to him to get him?
I
get him
guarantee
to
you
do that?
Or
Coleman-
he or she might have been set up. I believe me. I like conscientious people. It's just awfully hard to believe that anybody who works for the IRS.
Okay, how
is a
many times
conscientious
have we
person.
been? Okay, since we've had the studio, how many times have we been suckered into things by people telling us that they could do things for us, only to find out? And most recently, one was the biggest scumbag that we ever met.
Right.
So
Maybe I'll just emotional response when I see the IRS because
Right.
I mean the IRS to me is like you
But
can't
that-
expect a
I
popularity.
mean, we
contest
had
to
a
be-
person come in here that said they were going to help us, and come to find out they were selling studio time and commercials that we didn't even know about. So the people called complaining, "Where's our commercials?"
Yeah, and we didn't even know that. And they.
But what I'm saying is, people got this. This person probably gave some information, and some politician took advantage of them.
Right.
let them be the scapegoat, and now they're letting them hang out to dry.
That's that part you I have to. There's like 2 times right now just to show for this podcast right now. I have to back up a little bit, but when you state it in those terms, yeah, I can see what the point you're making. But
somebody took advantage of him.
Oh, definitely, they set him up. He was a patsy.
I know
what
he did.
He or she was a patsy. I mean, we don't know if it was a male or female.
Well, I just take these stories so we can talk about them. Right. I don't get in depth about it.
No, that's fine. I mean, I think that's something I might want to look into. I'm going to look into myself later because. But see, the thing is, what it goes like, this is very similar to when somebody wants to report activities done by cops. You have to go to another cop and tell them what this cop did to you, the cop who's on the same department. Okay.
You have to hope that cop aren't friends with the other.
Well, you know that they if they were the badger in the same department, 99% of the time, they are their best buds. Okay. So that's ridiculous. We got to find a way where this kind of stuff's got to be from an IRS or employee, if there is such thing as a conscientious one.
I trust it when like the state police invest. I feel better when another agency investigates, right. Especially state police hates
the local.
Hates the local anyway.
But
so.
That's the way I'm saying it. It's very fitting. I mean,
there should be no such thing as internal affairs.
No, that's ridiculous. Oh, we investigate ourselves. We did nothing wrong. How dare you? We feel offended. I mean, that's duh. I mean, yeah, you investigated. Okay, like
it took me 10 minutes to investigate our whole department.
Oh, it's like if any of us got busted for something and they said, we said,
well, you're guilty until proven innocent.
No, they say, well, my family investigating. We didn't find anything wrong with them. Of course they're going to say that.
My family would say there's a lot wrong with me.
Yeah, it's like maybe no. You think you got the goods on? Well, yeah, we can give you some more stuff.
But hand you the books of everything.
We've been keeping tabs on him. But
ever since he was 5 years old. This is the thing. I don't know. I think this problem is that this bugs.
Well, I just think a lot of people are going to look at this that may see something wrong in their department, and is it really worth it?
But maybe
to say something.
Well, maybe this could be used. So there should be we're supposed to have the ombudsman's office here in the city of Flint. Just use that for example. There should be someplace.
Well, explain what that is.
Ombudsman office is basically a person who is a liaison between the public and the different agencies at the city level.
And they're supposed to be disinterested.
And basically just people can file complaints with them or concerns, and they can actually do the investigation or elicit a response, initiate an investigation. Well, there should be something on a federal level which has oversight that their funding is not dependent upon schmoozing with the congressmen and senators. There's enough to operate. Maybe this every state just gives money towards this, keeps the body going, collecting data or information on these agencies, and any kind of bad things happening amongst them. People are like the whistleblowers can go to them and they can actually initiate the investigation and be a buffer between the whistleblowers. And
plus, I think that at that level, there should be like 3 levels of this independent investigations to keep it above board.
See, because I realize my animosity towards bureaucrats is because the city ones are terrible and the county ones are not much better. But on the national level, they're really bad and they're really paid really well for being bad.
But think about it. The only person that we really liked in government that we talked to before, John Gleason.
Right. Yeah, he was so
they took him out because he was an honest person and he was, I don't know. I think he was one of the good ones that I can say was one of the good ones.
He was a Democrat too, right?
Yeah, he's a Democrat, but he
would most likely have been Republican if he could have been.
He said probably more moderate than anything else.
No, but what I'm saying is he's one of the few people that you would agree was a good politician.
He was a good politician because he would when you brought it up, he said if I could run.
So you don't hate them all.
I have severe distrust. I mean, there's some likable guys that were in government. People are in government, likable.
But I honestly think if John Gleason said he was going to do something,
he was going to do it.
He was going to do it.
He even said if he could run without having a DRR after his name, he ran without any party affiliation whatsoever. He told me that on 2 different occasions, and I wasn't a close confidant of his or anything. So
that would be a better way to let people run by themselves versus.
Well, the thing is, just when the city of Flint is supposed to be nonpartisan.
It's supposed to be nonpartisan. But they let people know what their views are.
There's some exceptions, I guess. And that's another thing is I think there is actually
Dale Wayhill.
Yeah, he's
another one that we like.
Yeah, he's done some stuff. He goes between the parties and stuff. I mean, he leans heavily to the left, but he's actually accommodating and very fair-minded. I don't think you can get a more fair-minded person.
You're gonna hear him run for governor here soon.
I think so.
Who's that?
Chris Swanson, the sheriff.
He's gonna be
but I didn't like that he went to the. I guess maybe if I would have won if I was invited to.
Yeah.
If in his position, he's supposed to be a Democrat. So
Yeah, and then another thing is, I think he has to play the game to get along. And let's face it, we've always advocated this. If you want to get change of the party,
yeah, but doesn't he seem before he went there? Didn't he seem like he was your sheriff too?
yeah.
Mhm.
No,
And
no.
then when he went there and spoke, it sort of maybe not.
Yeah, just a question. What I mean, I just saw some guys that
I
some,
think he would have been smarter if he went to win,
yeah, I think I would just. Yeah, I don't think I would because he's supposed to represent. I mean,
especially for Harris.
but the sheriffs, people understand the power of the sheriff's department. I mean, what the but the power they have by the Constitution. I mean, very serious power.
You think he's rethinking everything now that
I think he
she
went.
turned out to be a dud?
No, I think he went for one reason. I
No,
think he
I'm
went
saying, do you think he's rethinking
going to
now
the,
that
going to the
right?
national convention. I think he went there to get.
I know, but
No, I think he should. I think he's rethinking.
Maybe he regrets it.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
regrets
Oh,
going.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he regrets it. I mean, I would, especially when it looks like Harris is not going to go far much further.
All right, I think he regrets his speech. I would say that.
I didn't even listen to her, but
I would say he regrets that speech.
Yeah, it's like because he basically said there was an insurrection or whatever from Trump's supporters. Yeah,
and he wants to go with a woman who unites. I would say
yeah, Chris, you're really misguided if you think Harris unites.
Yeah,
I mean, misguided or
well, the other side
deliberately
is
blinded.
the other side is that when Trump came to town, I think he made a bigger mistake too for not being a presence there. He said his other teams he didn't go, and he should have been there.
Right.
Even though if you don't agree with the person politically, you should have still been there.
then
And
where
it's-
though?
But when we were at the
Why would he win?
because they had all the sheriff's department up there, Bush Chris.
Okay, but
He should have been there.
I don't think he should have been there if he didn't want to go.
He's the sheriff.
He came out for Kamala Harris. Why would he come out? Why would he come
Because
out?
it shows that what I'm a sheriff for all people in my state.
But again, he came out for Kamala Harris. He went to the convention. Why would he go out and show anything for Trump? I understand why he didn't go.
Because when you go vote for governor, you also want the guys
Maybe he
that are on their
doesn't.
side.
Again, he came out for Kamala Harris. He spoke at the national convention,
Right.
and you're expecting him to go stand behind Donald
No,
Trump.
not stand behind.
Okay, but if he would have went there, don't you think it would have been in all the papers and all over the news?
No.
Yes, it would have.
Yeah.
They
Think
would
would
have. Hell yeah, it would have. And would you want to be in the middle of that again? No, especially no. I think he just wants to stay low.
I think you should have, but that's my call. You got a different opinion.
Yeah, and you would have been in all the papers. The sheriff that spoke at the national convention now supports Trump, and you had microphones in your face saying, "Well, what made you switch, Mr. Swanson?"
I would have said this flat out. I'm here doing my job.
No, he was smart enough not to put himself in that position.
I just said I've been here doing my job.
What do you think, John?
If I were Swanson, I wouldn't have gone and spoke on behalf of the Democratic.
Okay, but let's say you did.
But you did, but you wouldn't go to a Trump rally.
If you got all of your team there, but you're not showing up.
How do you know all of his team was there?
Because they were.
Quite a few of them were there. Yeah, I don't know all their contingency, but they had a contingent, but they had quite a few of them there.
Was they in uniform?
Yeah.
Then I don't know.
See, he's a law enforcement, and see, the thing is, I think he overstepped the bounds in some way. I mean, you can have your political opinion and your political appliances, personally, but as a sheriff, that's like some people don't understand that. That's a very, very important in the constitutional level, and I think he basically got over eager to try to throw us to curry political favor. I really do.
So when Arpaio did that for Trump, he did the same thing then, right?
I would say so. Yes, I would. As a sheriff, yes. I mean, the sheriff is law and order. I mean, that's what you want, because you might have somebody saying, you might have a rally that some party has, and somebody wants you to shut it down as a sheriff. And as long as it follows the guidelines and not violence and stuff, you have to remain kind of not independent, but you have to become non-biased. You kind of have to be even like center. You have to be center. You can't go either way. Usually, as long as it follows the legal standards, I have to permit it. That's what a sheriff should do. I think Swanson was wrong for going to the Democratic Party's national convention or whatever, making a speech there. I do. I think he was wrong.
Okay, but he did. So
Yeah.
you can't undo it. But
49ers player Nick Baza.
did you watch the game?
Yeah.
What do
He
you?
did face fines for showing a MAGA support during a game. This is making
He
too
pulled
much
up
out
his
of it.
shirt, didn't he?
Yeah, it said
He
MAGA.
he came up to the camera and pulled up the shirt and it said MAGA.
And
So-
he ran off.
So it's okay if a guy takes a knee. Another thing I got tired about than taking the knee. Okay, I don't want to see it, but you're doing it. I'm not going to make a big deal about it because that's what they want. Every time you try to do this, you're saying you can't do this. It's going to make an emphasis
More
on it.
people are going to do it.
The more they're going to do it. Why do you pay attention to it? Just move on. Or just you like them or not. You like it or believe
How
it.
did it? But yeah, I mean, how did it hurt anything?
How did it hurt? I mean, it's ridiculous, man. I mean,
They got more media attention
right.
by making a big deal out of it than they would have if they would let it go and said nothing. It'd been done. So I think some of these owners are in cahoots with Trump.
It's like, yeah,
Sometimes.
I just think it's like, it's the thing is, I think it's weird.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, you're smiling.
I think it's stupid.
I think-
But I mean, it was good
it's
publicity
good
for Trump.
It's great publicity.
And he'll probably
It
this
keeps
guy
it
will
in.
probably get more money on his next contract because of it.
Of 49ers? Oh,
Yeah, because he's going to become a darling of the Republican Party. It'll probably be
about
well.
it.
He also photobombed Trump when
And also, you're thinking about here's the 49ers, so you know the history of this one, right? This is Kaepernick, the guy that quarterback that started the kneeling and all that stuff. So he's
what,
at the
10
same,
years ago.
yeah. And the
How long?
guy,
It seems like 10
7,
years.
7, 8 years ago.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
but he's the guy can't play. Is trying to play quarterback, but nobody wants to hire him. So
Well,
he's
he's
on the
too
same
old
team.
now.
Yeah, but so this guy's on the same team that this guy was on, and he's covered out with the MAGA sign. And then so now you got this whole thing about end racism and do your part, do all this other stuff, take knees, do all this other stuff. You got people standing out in the middle of a thing, not coming out for the national anthem, all this other stuff. All that's okay. But the guy running out there says,
But that's not a new thing either. I've been in stadiums and different events where people didn't put their hands over, and I'm talking in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, but
where
none of the
because if you remember going to the movies, what did they play at the beginning of the movie when we were younger?
But
The national anthem.
Yeah.
I don't
But they
remember
never
that.
had-
Sometimes.
but they never let.
I know the downtown theater did it.
Yeah, but I never ever remember going to a professional sports.
I do.
No, never remember to going to a sports event, professional
I do.
ever, where I watched their team, where you watch the team go back to the locker room and wait for the national anthem to be played, and then they
No,
came
but
out.
I'm saying that when I was growing up, when I was younger, there was people that didn't stand up and
No,
they didn't put their
right.
hands over their heart. Nobody said anything about it.
I'm not talking about the people. in
I'm
the
just saying
stands.
it's just not a new thing.
No, it's not a new thing, but
The
it is a new
kneeling
thing for
is.
it's a new thing for the athletes.
And what happens? It backfires on them, and people don't watch the NFL. NFL lost a lot of money for these stupid decisions that they made, didn't they?
Right, it did, and then
And still haven't got it back. There's I know a lot of people, not a lot because I really don't know a lot, but I know some people.
I know
They don't watch football anymore and refuse to.
That's why I've heard people who are diehards, and they said after that happened, I don't watch them at games anymore. Maybe college games or go to the
No,
high
you
school
don't want
games.
political bullshit shoved down your throat
see-
when you're trying to forget. You're watching the game to let your mind float.
One
I
guy,
can't stand watch that when go to the end zones.
yeah,
And they got all these stupid news things. I'm like, just leave the.
Like, you were going to
freaking-
say something, yeah?
yeah. See, there's one guy who used to come in here, and he used to come in here to do a show, and he actually made a point that I never listened. I've never thought of. Is like, okay, we have the national anthem being played at these sporting events and stuff like that. And he said, you're making political doing that. Okay, now I can understand. I mean, I can understand a show of appreciation, but I don't think you should be able to expect everybody to have the same reaction or the same thoughts, because that's what here you want the national anthem and you want that played in about the liberties that's supposed to represent.
It's
But yeah, you
but
want-
no, I like our traditions.
I like
It was a tradition that goes back
years.
100 years.
Yeah.
So why? Because there's something that we've been doing. All of a sudden, you're saying it's political.
No, but in a way, it is.
It's political.
It is political
Why?
because it's
You
like,
live in the United States. It's our national anthem. How is that political?
well, the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. That's
You're not saying the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. You're just being happy that you're an American and your national anthem is being played. How is that political?
I don't know. I can see both sides of this, but I can't.
No, I can't see it as.
Look,
I
I'm
can't.
saying if you're a Republican or Democrat, I'm saying if you're saying Pledge of Allegiance, you're saying this to a flag. because it holds a country together because we're supporting our country, not a party. A
I'm just
party
saying,
There's
is
nothing.
political.
It's the Pledge of Allegiance is apolitical.
but see, I think Kaepernick was trying to make it political. Then I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, the national anthem. Not
Kaepernick was trying to get him.
Oh, he got what he wanted.
Did did he have
Except
a
for he
career?
went a little bit too far and got what we wanted him out.
Yeah, he didn't have a career, did he?
Oh God, no.
He's going to
He lost
retire
it.
poor.
Oh, he's
No,
lost
he
it.
didn't. No, he was rich before. His parents are white. He was
Yeah.
adopted.
So it's
He tried to pretend like he was a street kid.
yeah. All I know is, I mean, I just felt stupid, but I thought the media concentrated, everybody else is concentrated too damn
But
much.
isn't
still
it
hasn't
funny
cut his
though?
hair yet.
Isn't it funny how all these blacks come out to be either? I mean, yes, he is black, but he wasn't raised in a black flying family. Kamala Harris says she's black. Comes to find out that she's Jewish, Irish, and Jamaican,
And
everything but black.
And yet,
And then,
not far up in her lineage, they were slave owners.
yeah, but what I'm saying is,
What
they don't even get a real black person.
it's like, yeah, I mean, George Moss been a great president from a trade if he got in there when younger, because he loves his country. He knows the Constitution, the Bill of Rights better than about 99% of the Congress and senators.
But the thing is, anybody who's worth the shit, they call him an Uncle Tom.
yeah, because if they don't buy the same line and they feel themselves victims or hate this group or
I'm
hate
saying
this
this is what I
country.
perceive.
Yeah.
It's not what I know.
No, I have the same perception though. I mean, anybody who basically doesn't have an axe to grind is considered a sellout. You don't have the same hatred. Don't have the same. That's another thing about race in this country. I mean, it's
If
like
you don't follow their walk in line, if you don't walk behind Al Sharpton and Jesse
Right.
Jackson,
yeah,
you don't walk behind that group.
I don't.
You're
I
a
think
sellout.
they're done. I don't think the younger crowd cares. I think the younger crowd has their own mindset now,
And that's what's ticking.
and
them
that's
off.
what's bothering them too, is because they can't figure out how to crack into that.
no. See, I think that's
Neither side can.
see, as much as I don't like the. I think that we call the mainstream media or the mainstream or the legacy media, that their grip on the people's minds is actually being destroyed.
And they did that to themselves.
And they did it to themselves. Because I mean, like today, I was just reading on YouTube about that comment about that guy made a joke about Puerto Rico, at the
Right.
Trump rally. or
Killed
whatever.
Tony.
Yeah, killed. Yeah, and anyway, so everybody that's responding though were Mexicans, or at least identifying themselves
No,
as.
they don't care.
And they said they don't care. They thought it was hilarious. They said it's like, oh, this guy's a roast comedian. That's what he does. He skewers people in every situations and stuff.
And that's
he
what his
does.
show's all about. I mean, I watch it. I'm sure you've seen Kill
Yeah.
Tony on
on
They
YouTube.
just
and stuff
they
like
have
that.
a comic and they just tear them up.
I mean,
There's
it's
some that they can't tear up that tear them up back. But I mean, that's
That's what
sure.
they try to do, though.
No, I don't.
That's what the show was meant to do.
yeah.
To make you laugh.
But one of the things I seen they're doing on TikTok is when they're voting, they're seeing who can make up the most ridiculous name for a write-in. They're doing a TikTok on that.
No,
The millennials, I guess, are the ones that are doing it.
I just
Do you think that's? I mean, they're taking the time to go vote, but
Right.
they're writing in names.
Like Scooby, yeah.
Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo, Mickey Mouse. Well, Mickey Mouse has been a write-in for a long time.
Goofy slipping up over this or something like that.
I've had a couple of friends write me and they said, "What happened if you? What happened?"
Wouldn't that be funny if John did actually make it
in
all
the office sometime? No, I'd be out of it.
I'm actually trying to get John to run for political office.
I wouldn't blast.
should.
Not
Why?
in the city of Flint. I wouldn't want to. be in
Yeah,
the city of Flint.
you would.
No, I wouldn't. I think
I can see a
for one thing,
billboard. I can see a billboard with your name on it right now.
Let's be in your cabinet.
Huh?
Go run for mayor. We'll be in your cabinet.
No, it'd be city council.
See, if it was going to be anything, but no, I think they take that too seriously. I mean, it's a job. You got to do it. I got a friend who's on the city council over at Burton, and she puts forth a lot of effort. But I mean, it's just not for me. I mean, I just putting out fires and hearing people complain. If I did that, if I wanted that, I would have got married. but
But how much validity do you give the polls this time around? I mean,
very little.
even though they're saying Trump. Well, remember, didn't they say that there's supposed to be a red wave
Well, see, I think
last time around?
I don't.
God, yeah, I'll
but,
wait until that day.
but what I'm hoping for, and I'm hoping for, is like I don't think they're calling it for the. I don't think they're saying the heavier level is going to go. The heavy vote's going to go to Trump. I
But
think it's
do you
going to be heavier.
care?
They're saying.
Like the betting odds? I mean, there's like two different big. predict it, and then there was another one that didn't make my sheet.
There's one.
That came up. Both have one has Trump up like 68%.
60.
68%. Another one it was 56 or 58%. And both her she was like in the low 30s. I mean, this is people's actual money. It was like almost I don't know, it was $124 million
One was
for Trump.
All I know is that I'm seeing from the
Well,
reactions.
I
I'm seeing-
mean, that's a lot of money.
yeah,
People are betting that he's going to win.
well, I'm seeing a lot of react. If you just go by what I'm hearing, the actions and the just the things people are posting online. I mean, black, white, whatever, they're all in favor of Trump over Harris. I mean, and now this runs the
Because
gamut.
I don't know how many videos I've seen of people that I thought looking at them
Right.
that were going to say something bad, but this came out and I voted for Donald Trump.
I just don't think they can take her seriously, and I don't think anybody should take her seriously. I mean, as a candidate for you to want as president, I don't. I just
But do you think there's a lot of added pressure for him, or he doesn't? Well, it doesn't look like he really cares.
no.
I mean, I know he wants to be elected, but that's what we talked about before. You look at her; it's doom and gloom.
Right.
Him, it's just like good time rock and roll.
Well,
He's
no,
having fun with every bit of it.
Especially the garbage truck. That was so cool.
but no,
That cracked him off.
well, you're an employer.
Right.
You hire people. Okay, would you give a lot when you really want a per employee that's actually made the effort to get hired in, but he just keeps on constantly comes back? You say, "Well, I'm not hiring now." Comes back 3 weeks later and wants a job. Wouldn't you find that kind of highly something you do
Yeah.
want somebody that energetic and energized to be in your your employ?
Or
I mean,
somebody who actually has a plan on doing
Until he comes in one day and sees him rolling in his truck.
something. Yeah, garbage truck. That might make me laugh a little bit more. But the thing is that if you look at Trump, you look at Kamala Harris. It's like when you look at these people and they're talking about if you cannot vote for him because you don't like him as a person, then
Yeah, you have to look past that.
You got to look past that. If you are looking at somebody because you say, "Well, she's a woman," we got to vote for her because she's a woman.
Well,
You're stupid.
Especially if you've seen them both in action. I mean,
Really
granted, Biden was the president and she was vice president, but she was still in that administration. She had chances to stand up. She didn't stand up. What did she do? One thing.
But she
Nothing.
But then she always
But,
thinks
but
she's the
he
last
had a
person in the room.
good economy. Even granted, he inherited it from Obama, but he had a good economy. The jobs were good under him. Money was rolling along, and then he got stuck with COVID.
right.
But he still made a good thing out of the COVID.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you can't take that away from you. You can't. I don't see how they can. Even like we've made the reference, Clinton already acknowledged that the economy is doing well under Trump, and he's made a couple of missions there during different stops for Harris.
Right.
He was actually admitting that they screwed the pooch in some ways, So
Well, somebody said today they didn't know who was a better surrogate for Trump, Clinton or Biden. Because the way they keep screwing things up, and I don't think they're trying to screw it up. I honestly think those are the times they're really saying the truth.
yeah, we got to back her, but God,
What do you
really
think
don't so that
the
much for her.
garbage is really going to change anybody's vote?
I think it doesn't change votes. I think of what it does is that it's a deplorable moment. It's that moment where people are like, you know what, we're pissed. We're getting sick of it.
Well, another thing is too. I mean, they always say that we can't. The general population should avoid what they're saying on this towards this organization, or this group, or this demographic. But it's okay for them to broadly claim that everybody's garbage, and they try to back down on that. Biden's press secretary tried to say that to explain he didn't call all Trump supporters garbage.
It was on the tape. They got her on that one. They're like, excuse me, it's on the tape.
Yeah.
But do you think part of the problem is there's no shock value in anything anymore?
No,
Everybody's seen everything and they've heard it. I mean, how many times can you call somebody a Nazi or a racist?
It's going to wear its impact
But
away.
do you think by doing that they're trying to get people to kill him by equating
that's
him,
what I'm afraid of.
actually calling him Hitler,
That's
equating what his rally with the 1938.
Well, follow this. Their line of logic on the left. They're on the left. They always say this. You can't say this because gradually you're demolishing this person's, as a person. You're demolishing him as a person. You're like deconstructing him, whatever. But it's now we're going to do this on this other side. And what are you objecting to? It's just what our personal opinion is. But they try to rein in anybody else's observations about other groups.
Well, I mean, when you got CNN, I think it was CNN.
They're like
when you have CNN on TV has a dual view of Trump's rally in the I think it was 1938 rally for Nazi rally that was held. I don't know. It was I guess there was in sympathy for Hitler. But anyways, on the same screen on national TV.
You don't think
Well,
that
really,
triggers
is
somebody?
there? Hmm?
You don't think that's to trigger someone?
No, but I'm just saying they were calling him Hitler
No,
over and over again and showing all these images.
should they not be responsible for anything that happens to Trump?
They're not going to be.
No.
Well, I can say I go back to this point. I mean, you can advocate a lot, you could say a lot, but just because somebody follows up, I mean, there's no way you can control somebody else's behavior.
But
So
then
I can't-
again, how do you see most of these things? It's because of other conservatives or whatever. They're the ones that are posting this stuff that I would never see
right?
because I don't watch CNN. I don't watch NBC, any of these. I don't even know that any of these news um, programs even exist half the time that they even show me.
I don't even know when time Rachel
But if-
Maddow comes on or
But
Jordan
they
Reed
would
or anything
stop
like that.
showing these people. They wouldn't be the issue that they are. They're making them more. But do you think sometimes when other news networks promote that they're promoting cross promoting each other?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I think so. I think they call
They're
each other out.
incestuous.
Yeah,
Is
well,
that the word?
Yeah, I mean, they've proven this. They've actually had different people, talking heads and different channels saying about the same subject matter. They had video clips of them saying essentially the same, almost the exact wording.
Right.
So I mean, they're getting it from the same press releases and stuff like
And I
that.
think they're trying to help each other get their
Yeah.
ratings.
But I mean, how many people wouldn't even know The View existed if it weren't for like Fox News or some of these other places talking about The View?
I mean, basically, if guess what, you had a
They
guy.
make them relevant when they're not.
Well, we have a woman in the neighborhood that lives by me. She sits on her front porch, sings out loud, loudly and stuff. She's got some kind of mental issue, and she's very harmless. But I mean, we just go by, and that's just background noise for us. That's what it would. All The View would be is if somebody stopped putting the focus on them, putting the spotlight on these morons.
Right.
I mean, they just
I mean, when's the last time
That's how
Whoopi
they be.
Goldberg's done anything? What, Star Trek?
Like yeah,
She's done something since. I
28.
don't know. Oh no, didn't she redo The Color Purple?
She did that in a
No, the
Theater.
new one.
Didn't she did that in a theater or something like that?
No, I'm saying the most recent
Yeah.
revamp of The Color Purple. Wasn't she in that one too?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's
But I'm just saying she's been in nothing that anybody
Significant.
watches. Again, we wouldn't know about half the stuff going on if they weren't
You wouldn't
promoted.
know anything about Joy Behar. You wouldn't know anything about that Sunny woman. You wouldn't know anything about the Anna person because she's only on CNN, but no one watches that
right.
round table. So honestly, everything would just die off and go to.
They'd been extinct long ago. That show had been extinct. I mean, another thing is to look at the name of Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, she doesn't represent the demographic with that name usually. I mean, serious. I mean, she basically culturally appropriated somebody else's name.
And they actually do something stupid once in a while just to get news. That's all. They'll do it
Yeah.
every few months. Every few weeks they'll do something stupid, so they'll get some kind of news.
I mean,
So somebody's going to have to report.
you think it's done deliberate just because they're stupid?
No, they do deliberately, and because they're stupid.
Yeah, I just every time I used to go to this one, used to have to get my blood pressure checked, and they'd have the view on in the waiting room, and I'd go in and my blood pressure would be up.
Yeah, go
And
right
I didn't
up.
know, and so when I got away from it, or when I go to places that didn't have that being on, because get checked in, my blood pressure was normal. I'm serious. I mean, it's just like an involuntary hostile response when I saw these women on there, and they're saying. I mean, one time I was there. Whoopi Goldberg was over here, and this was the only time I listened to it was in this office. She goes, "Donald Trump wants to take us back into slavery." I'm like, oh my God, how can you even say that with a straight face?
Especially being a millionaire.
Yeah, it's like the millionaire.
Who said that
multimillionaire.
she was going to leave the first time when Donald Trump came in? Never left.
I know it's like Whoopi. If you need help packing, if you pay for pizza, I got a few friends who would help you out.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Get the boxes, get the pod.
As our backs are, we'll be there. To help you.
We'll be there to help you, man. We'll go to California, wherever you're at, and help you pack. We want you. We don't want you to feel stressed. I mean, I've always said that standing all these people, these prima donnas on Hollywood, they always say, "We're going to move. We're going to move. Move!" But you don't want to go to someplace like Canada. They're not going to Mexico or any place else.
Here's the question: they got George Clooney in a commercial. I had this question today. George Clooney's come back here doing a commercial about, oh, hey, you know what? Go with your friends. You want to make America great again, but you don't have to tell them what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Just stupid.
Yeah,
that's a stupid commercial. But here's a question.
But you've
George
seen it because somebody else was playing it.
But here's a question: George Clooney doesn't even live in America.
I don't know.
Yeah,
He lives in
I
France.
don't really care.
So Why is he voting in America?
Because he's still an American, and that's his right.
Oh, this is right, but
It's a,
why don't you just stay back in France? You know,
but at least I think he did say he was going
Because
to
I
go.
don't think he can vote in France.
Oh,
They
he
don't. They
can't?
probably don't allow non-citizens to vote in France.
he can't, and they don't allow non-citizens to vote in France.
That's why they said.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah. Why don't we try that?
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Should
mean,
be
this,
something we should try.
I think it's time to push.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.